Natalie Jurado is a magnesium expert and business owner on a mission to spread awareness about this overlooked mineral. She spent years searching for solutions to her health issues until everything changed when she discovered the healing power of magnesium. She is on a mission to demystify this miracle mineral responsible for over 300 biochemical reactions within the body. She created Be Rooted In, delivering potent magnesium products to people around the world. If you are struggling to find a solution for crippling anxiety, chronic pain, and insomnia, you are in the right place. Grab a pen and paper and let's dive in. Have you tried everything to eliminate autoimmune symptoms like joint pain and digestion issues without relief? Are you struggling to keep up with the demands of life due to chronic fatigue? Does chronic pain keep you from doing the things you love in life? If you are feeling defeated and hopeless, you are not alone. I am Ashley Cavolo, a busy working mom who once struggled with debilitating autoimmune symptoms. I too felt like giving up after trying every possible solution without relief from symptoms like joint pain and stiffness, painful digestion issues, relentless chronic fatigue, and embarrassing brain fog, until it was time to stop allowing the pain to control my life. I dove into the root cause of autoimmune diseases and was shocked to find the answer is not found in endless doctor visits, harsh medications, expensive supplements, or strict food lists. The secret to healing autoimmune symptoms is found within the specific habits that reduce inflammation and heal symptoms quickly and naturally. I applied what I learned and found relief from my symptoms in a matter of weeks. 7 years later, I am living a pain-free life free of autoimmune symptoms. I turned this discovery into a self-paced program called the Autoimmune Reboot, where I share my secrets and my step-by-step process to help you heal your symptoms quickly so you can live a pain-free life. This podcast is for you if you are ready to eliminate joint pain so you can jump out of bed every morning pain-free. Heal and maintain a healthy gut so you can enjoy your favorite foods again without that uncomfortable bloat. Go from no energy and endless coffee breaks to an abundance of natural energy and stamina to tackle the day. Eliminate uncomfortable autoimmune symptoms such as bloating, brain fog, constipation, diarrhea, digestion pain, inflammation, joint stiffness, skin rashes, and many more. Living a pain-free life is easier and closer than you think. I can't wait to show you what I discovered. Refresh your coffee and let's dive in. I have Natalie Jurado here on the show today. Natalie, thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. I am excited to talk about my absolute favorite topic in the entire world, magnesium.
I know you are going to bring an immense amount of value to the listeners. So, there was a time in your life when you were doing all of the right things. You were eating organic foods, exercising, you were being health conscious, yet you still struggled to find relief from anxiety, chronic pain, insomnia, and that kept you from living your life. Can you tell us about your story and that time in your life?
Absolutely. So this was probably about 10 years ago now. So about a full decade ago. And I was doing everything you're supposed to do. Like I was struggling with sleeping maybe about 2 hours a night, and I'd wake up a million times a night, couldn't fall back to sleep, which of course left me exhausted the next day. My joints were on fire, everything hurt. I was feeling so anxious that it would lead to panic attacks. And everybody kept saying, "Oh, well, just sleep more, just stop stressing." They'd give you this advice, and it just never works. And I was doing, like you said, all the quote unquote right stuff, eating the good, healthy diet, managing my life as best as possible. And I still could not, like, no matter what I did, I just was not feeling any better. So I went to my healthcare provider, and she was gracious enough to offer me every single test you could possibly imagine. She sent me to specialists. I felt like a human pincushion with the amount of blood that they took from me and all for all these tests. And all thousands of dollars in copays. When it was all said and done, she sat me down, she looked me straight in the face, and she said, Natalie, there's nothing wrong with you. Your blood work is normal. This is a normal part of aging as a woman, and this is just expected. So it was basically a glorified way of saying, get over it. This is your life for the rest of your life. And that was wonderful that my blood work was great, but it was terrible that this was the trap that I would live in for the rest of my life. And I needed answers. I needed solutions. And I'm sure that many of your listeners have probably been in those same shoes where you're told that everything is normal and this is kind of all in your head, which can be very, very frustrating.
Mm.
So, wild turn of events, I discovered magnesium, started using it, and within a week, literally within a week, I went from sleeping 2 hours a night to sleeping 6 hours a night, which was really a huge jump back then. Now I sleep like 8, 9 hours, no problem. But back then, that was a big deal. Anxiety started to go away. Panic attacks completely went away. And I thought, what is this? Why aren't we talking about this? Why isn't this like on every news headline? Magnesium is amazing. Let's get into this.
I had the same experience. I was struggling with sleep at night. I was waking up all night long. It would take half the night to get to sleep. And as soon as I started taking magnesium, it was about the same amount of time, maybe a week. I
Mhm.
was sleeping hours and hours through the night, and now I'm sleeping fully through the night. Highly recommend magnesium if somebody is going through the same issue. So I'm curious how magnesium also helped you with some of these other symptoms you were experiencing, and what else you incorporated in your life at that time to get you through the chronic pain and the inflammation.
Absolutely. And first of all, kudos to you to discovering magnesium, implementing it in your life, and then living with those incredible benefits. Like it truly is such an underrated supplement. And it's really like I've made it my mission to get magnesium into the hands of everybody who's suffering because it's an easy fix, right? This isn't
Mhm.
complicated. It's not expensive. You don't have to like spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to get a specialized treatment. It's literally a mineral that's in your food. So it really is like I like nature's miracle mineral because it is so foundational to our overall health.
Mm.
So great benefit that you received and I received as well is the ability to help you sleep. So magnesium really calms down your brain, it relaxes your muscles, and it allows your body to do what it's supposed to do at nighttime, right? Your body is supposed to shut down. It's supposed to turn off. It's supposed to relax, unwind, and allow your body to sleep. That's what you're supposed to do. And magnesium just allows that to happen. But what many people don't realize, because we often associate magnesium with sleep, what many people don't realize is that it's involved in over 700 different biochemical reactions in our body. Not only does it help us sleep, but it provides energy to our cells. It regulates your blood sugar. It helps with blood pressure. It literally causes your heart to beat. And so when we're low in magnesium, it's not just the fact that we can't sleep at night, but it's all those other 699 other reactions in our body that suffers. And so we definitely see this cascading of effects, from sleep to not having energy throughout the day to having your nervous system not regulate and just goes on and on. It's like you hit that first domino and all the other
Mm.
dominoes start to fall down as well.
And I'd like to hear your perspective on this, that most people are deficient in magnesium.
Yeah, so the National Institute of Health has said that about 70% of the US population does not get enough magnesium in their diet every single day. So when we think about that, that's 7 out of 10 people who are not getting enough magnesium, whose 700 different reactions are not functioning at the way that they're supposed to. And unfortunately, this happens so often, and it's so easily overlooked and confused for other disorders and chronic issues that it's typically referred to as the invisible deficiency. So we're chronically deficient throughout so much of our population. People don't know it, and they're just suffering on a daily basis.
Wow. So, how might somebody start to incorporate magnesium into their life?
Yeah, so the easiest, safest, and most effective way is to simply get food. Get it's in our food, right? So we need to eat the right foods. And those are going to be the foods that we typically don't eat a lot of in the standard American diet. So those are your green leafy vegetables and your nuts and your seeds. So chia seeds, pumpkin seeds, almonds, spinach, those are all great sources of magnesium. Another one that's actually my favorite is coconut water. Coconut water is just I feel like it's nature's amazing food. food, right? Because it's got your potassium, it's got your magnesium. Um, it's like nature's Gatorade. So another
Mm.
great form of magnesium. And even dark chocolate. Dark chocolate is a wonderful source of magnesium. It's so funny because I hear from so many women that they crave dark chocolate or they crave chocolate, especially around the time of their cycle.
Mhm.
Well, estrogen burns up magnesium, right? So when we're going into our cycle throughout the month and we're craving that chocolate, oftentimes it's just your body craving magnesium.
When it comes to supplementation, can you speak on that a bit and explain what the best types of magnesium are as far as supplementations go? I know there's an oral option, there are topical options. What might be the best solutions?
Absolutely. So, of course, our first line of defense is our diet. We're going to eat those green leafy vegetables, those nuts, and our seeds. But we also have to recognize that it takes a lot of those foods to give us the bare minimum of magnesium we need in a day. So, for reference, it would take about 10 cups of raw spinach to get that 300 milligrams, 300 to 400 milligrams that you need in a day. And now I love me some salads. Like I can eat a salad every day, but I'm not eating 10 cups of raw spinach, that's just not happening. So because of that, that's why so many of us need to supplement to kind of make up for that deficiency in our diet, right? Kind of gives us an extra like layer of protection almost. So when we decide to supplement, there's two different ways. We can do topical or we can do oral, right? Typically people, they'll hear a podcast, they'll see a TikTok, and they'll run out to their health food store and they see this giant aisle of magnesium, or they go on Amazon and they're like, 10 pages deep in their magnesium supplements. And it can feel very overwhelming. It can feel very confusing. There's over 14 different forms of magnesium, and new ones are popping up every single day. So it can feel very overwhelming. At the very least, if there's no other takeaway from this entire podcast, at least let it be this: avoid magnesium oxide. So that is the cheapest, most readily available form of magnesium, and it is the form that doctors most likely will prescribe you, right? Unfortunately, that form of magnesium only absorbs at a rate of 4%, which means the other 96%
Wow.
is going to go right through your digestive tract. And this is why we hear from people all the time say, oh, I took magnesium, but my stomach, it messed up my stomach. It left me in the bathroom all day long. It's probably because you took magnesium oxide. So that is at the very least, let's just erase magnesium oxide from our options. And so there are much better options. So magnesium glycinate, that is what we hear all the time. People are like, oh, have you tried glycinate? It's a very popular form. It's typically very well digested. It works pretty well. People will often take it for sleep because glycinate in and of itself can induce a little bit of drowsiness. So oftentimes people will take magnesium glycinate. Other options are magnesium malate, which is great for energy and muscle pain. There's magnesium taurate, which is great for heart health. Magnesium threonate, wonderful for brain health. So there's some really good options out there. Just avoid that oxide. And then the alternative is to simply use it on your skin. This is so underrated. Our skin is our largest organ, and when you put magnesium on your skin, you're going to absorb it with zero side effects. So it's
Wow.
especially good for people who have leaky gut. If you have any kind of gut issue, if you have trouble digesting your nutrients and getting your nutrients through food with any kind of like IBS, Crohn's, anything like that, it's a great option. Wonderful for children who can't take pills and powders. Great for the elderly who are having swallowing issues. And just in general, it's just an easy, a safe, and effective way to get magnesium into your body. So there's two forms of topical. That's Epsom salt. That's our grandmother's remedy from way back in the day, right? Grandma would say, soak your Epsom salt bath, right? Epsom salt is magnesium sulfate. You can get that at the dollar store for $1.25, or I don't know, I think it's $1.50 now. So. And then there's magnesium chloride. And chloride is the type that fully and completely changed my life personally. Chloride has just been absolutely amazing for my own health.
I think a lot of people will be surprised to hear topical magnesium supplements can provide relief.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And it's affordable and it's natural.
Yep, and there's no
That's
side
great.
effects. No chance of stomach issues, no chance of
Wow.
overdose, super safe. And there's actually some really interesting studies that are starting to come out. There was one study that actually showed using it on your skin was 5 times more effective and faster than taking a pill or a powder. So we're actually seeing some new, really interesting research coming out with topical magnesium.
So how might you recommend magnesium is used for somebody to find relief from anxiety? The world is a little crazy today. It's
Yes.
quite easy to feel anxious. So, how might somebody use magnesium to help them through those feelings?
Yeah, so anytime we're talking about magnesium, I always like to break it up into three steps, and it's three super easy steps. The first is we're going to get more of those green leafy veggies in our diet, which means if you're having a smoothie in the morning, throw a handful of spinach in there. If you're making scrambled eggs, chop up some green leafy vegetables, throw it in with your eggs. So we're going to try and throughout our days start to add a little bit extra more magnesium. So throw some almonds in your salad, throw some chia seeds, make some chia pudding, right? The next step is we are going to start using it on our skin. So first we get it in our diet, next we start using it on our skin. That could mean taking an Epsom salt bath 2 to 3 times a week. If you don't have a bathtub, because I know it's not always accessible, you can always soak your feet and just throw 2 cups of Epsom salt into a foot basin, throw
Oh,
your feet in there with some nice warm water. You can do that while watching TV or reading a book, or if you work from home, do it underneath your office desk, So we've got our topical. You can also include a magnesium lotion into your routine. So instead of using your regular over-the-counter body lotion, swap to one that has magnesium chloride in it. That's going to be a quick, easy, and wonderful way to get that magnesium on your skin. And then once you're there, if you're still feeling some of the symptomology, if that didn't knock it out, then we start moving forward into supplementing. So we want to look for a supplement that has around 300 milligrams of elemental magnesium in it. So you want to read the label, check the supplement facts, look for that 300 milligrams. That's a really good starting point. The RDA, the amount of magnesium that we're supposed to get in a day, is anywhere from 350 to 500 milligrams, depending on your weight. So 300 is a good starting point, assuming we're getting some magnesium from our diet as well. We want to take that 300 milligrams and we want to split it up throughout the day. So typically magnesium will come in like 2 pills. We'll take one in the morning, we'll take one at night so that we give our body adequate time to absorb it. And it gives us a less of a chance of really disturbing our stomach. And
mhm.
that's easy steps. So we've got our food, we've got our topical, and then we've got our supplement if necessary.
Now, do you find splitting that dosage up also helps with maybe any sleepiness that somebody may experience as well?
Yeah. So the sleepiness, and it's hard because oftentimes people are like, well, you're telling me that magnesium helps with sleep, but you're also telling me that magnesium helps with energy and focus. What gives, right? People are often like, well, how does it work for both? The reason why is because magnesium allows your body to do exactly what your body is supposed to do, right? We're supposed to have energy and focus and be in a good mood throughout the day. We're supposed to unwind and fall asleep at nighttime. So it almost helps us hit that balance, giving us the
Mhm.
energy throughout the day and giving us that sleep at nighttime. So
Mhm.
splitting it up kind of lets that magnesium last with you all day long. It allows your body to absorb as much as possible. Oftentimes, if you have a stomach issue, if you've taken magnesium and it's kind of given you diarrhea or, an upset stomach, it's because you're taking too much at once. And so what happens is our body has this built-in safety mechanism that stops us from overdosing, right? You take in too much, your body's going to get rid of anything you don't need really quickly in the bathroom. It's not going to do long-term harm, but it is going to, mess up your day a little bit, right? So that's why when we split it up, we give our body adequate time to absorb it, and then we could take more, give our body adequate time to absorb it so we don't have that stomach issue.
That's amazing. I often hear of people stopping magnesium completely because of that side effect. So it's really nice to hear that it will be effective by splitting up that dosage to avoid that symptom.
Yeah.
So I am very curious how your history and your story and experiences with magnesium led you into your business.
Yeah. So I was really struggling, like I said, and I started to recognize that when it comes to magnesium, like the topical totally changed everything for me. I was able to put it, to apply magnesium anywhere that I was in pain. I was able to use magnesium when I felt a panic attack coming on because it would work within just a couple minutes when you use it topically. The other thing I was dealing with at the time was leaky gut. I was not absorbing my nutrients, so I was taking magnesium pills, but they weren't doing what I needed them to do. So using the topical really gave me instant relief when I needed it. But I really found that when I was looking for magnesium options, they were very limited. We had magnesium sprays, which are concentrated magnesium chloride solutions that burned, itched, and irritated my skin. And then on the flip side, we had these really clinical magnesium formulations that you could get like at your chiropractor's office, and they smelled like my grandmother's medicine cabinet and it was not pleasant. You know? It was just and tacky and sticky and just yucky. I wanted something that I can incorporate into my routine that just was part of just my regular routine. I put lotion on every day. Might as well make a lotion that felt good on your skin, that also gave you incredible benefits. And so took us about 2 years. We worked with 6 different chemists from all around the world, from Utah to the UK, to create the most potent, most effective magnesium cream on the market today.
Mm.
And it's been changing lives ever since. We have people like tens of thousands of people whose lives are completely and utterly changed by simply getting magnesium. They're sleeping better, their aches and pains are going away, their stress levels are starting to normalize, and they're doing it without addictive, like toxic prescription meds. It's just a wonderful, natural way to get those great benefits without those side effects.
That is incredible. And how long have you been in business for?
We've been around since it's going on 5 years now. So yeah, a little bit over 4 years. And so it's been an amazing journey. There's been high highs and low lows. At one point we had sold out and we couldn't get restocked for like months. And so we've been, we've been through it all, but more than anything, we've been able to reach people all around the globe and really make a dent when it comes to natural remedies, really kind of
Yeah.
get those into the hands of people who would not have considered natural remedies before, who are using them now.
I hear often that companies in the startup phase, it is difficult to find manufacturers and suppliers who offer pure supplements that are not synthetic. How was that experience for you? Was it
That was
challenging?
so challenging, so unbelievably challenging. Because what we wanted a magnesium that was based off of clinical research. And the clinical research shows that using 500 milligrams of magnesium on your skin twice a day can raise your levels by close to 60% in about 12 weeks. So I wanted a therapeutic dose. But all of the manufacturers that we had gone to, they're like, we can't put that much magnesium in a cream and keep that dose. Like they're like, it's not possible unless we use synthetic, parabens and emulsifiers that were just super toxic. And I didn't want that. I wanted something that helped you, and I wanted something that wouldn't give you side effects. And so it was a lot of going from one manufacturer to another, and them saying, no, we can't do it. No, what you're asking is impossible. And we actually wound up finding one right in our own backyard. We're right in here in Florida, and we found a manufacturer about 2 hours away from us here in Florida that would use US ingredients, because that was also super important to us. We wanted to manufacture here in the US. So we finally did it, and it's been amazing. It's been an incredible journey.
Wow. Kudos to you for pushing through all of that because so many people would have just given up.
Yeah, I definitely gave up quite a few times and would be like, I can't do this. And my husband's like, you've
Yeah.
got this. If it wasn't for my husband pushing me and telling me you got this, I would have given up plenty of times.
Yeah. I often hear of food companies, in the startup phase, they struggle with this, trying to find pure, clean ingredients. And it's just kind of unheard of in the States. And they often have to go out of the country to find manufacturers and suppliers who will supply them with these ingredients.
Yeah.
So, your website, you have products available online, and the website, the company is rooted in.
Yep. We're all about being rooted in your health and really getting to the root cause of the issue instead of covering it up with symptom or with band-aid remedies, basically.
I will share a link to your website in the show notes so everybody can visit and hopefully purchase and utilize your products.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
have lots of free resources on our website as well.
Oh,
So
excellent.
if you click the resources tab, we've got magnesium cheat sheets that tell you all the different types of magnesium, which one you should be using for your distinct problems. We have action plans, we've got guides, we've got like a 26-page resource guide. So we really, really are committed to magnesium in general. Of course, if you want to try our product, we love that. But more importantly, we want people to know that magnesium is a great, safe option for them.
Beautiful. Natalie, I always ask my guests if there's a listener in the audience who is struggling with chronic pain, what is one message you would like to share with that person who feels stuck?
Absolutely. So for me, it's so important to not settle for somebody else's version of what normal is. When the doctor told me it was normal to feel this way, I was like, no, no, it's not. It's not normal for me. It might be normal for you, but not for me. And that's what really kind of lit that fire underneath me to be like, no, this is not normal for me. I want to figure out, I want to determine what is normal for me. And that's what really kept me moving forward. So don't let anybody else's normal define you.
That's beautiful. Natalie, thank you so much for being here today. I really appreciate it. We'll share all of your information in the show notes so everybody can find your resources on your website.
Thank you so much for having me on, and thanks for what you're doing to bring the message of natural wellness all across the world.
Thanks, Natalie. I hope this podcast has helped you in your autoimmune journey. If you find value and inspiration in this episode, please leave a 5-star rating and review and share the episode with a friend. When you do, you are helping this podcast reach people around the world who are ready to live a pain-free life.